Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud.
Welcome, DES race fans. We just had to make a quick announcement. We are going to be taking a quick 10-minute intermission prior to this race getting started. Had some technical difficulties with the previous race, so we ended up having to recreate it. So if you guys give us 10 short minutes, we'll have these guys back out on the track and ready to go. So hang around, stay with us, grab your drinks, grab some popcorn, and get ready to go racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Welcome, all our viewers. Sorry for that little bit of delay, but welcome to the DES iRacing Next Gen race here. We are at Charlotte Motor Speedways with the Darts Without Feathers Racing race here today. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have an amazing time. I'm joined here in the booth with Mr. Hunter Davis, one of the most fantastic broadcasters there are. And then you also have myself, Edwin Warren, here broadcasting with you today. And in the booth, with those spectacular broadcasting skills, we've got Damon O'Brien. Hunter Davis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, Edwin. This is going to be a fantastic race out here tonight. We have an absolutely massive field. I think there are 28 cars that are going to be taking the grid here tonight. So we're going to see some of these guys who elected not to qualify work their way up to the front of the pack. We got a lot of speed up at the front. I think this is going to be a good race here tonight.
Yes, sir. We've got a lot of guys who are new to DS here, a lot of guys who've been here for a while. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you change it over to the 1440 HD on your stream to get that crisp, clean broadcast. You can see the spec maps these guys have in their beautiful paint schemes. So make sure you swap it, hit that wrench, and change your broadcasting setting. We're going to hand it over to Hunter Davis so that he can do our starting lineup.
Starting in row number 1 on your pole position, you have the 59 of Matthew Tennant, to his outside, 79, Jordan Tross, starting in second. Row number 2, you get the 5 car of Brandon Hinton, TRN driver, starting in third. Brandon Moore, 87 car, starting in fourth. Row number 3, Thomas Long, starting in 5th, and Tyler Waltz in the 54 car, starting in 6th. Row number 4, you got the 4 car of Chuck Burley, Rat Fink's very own, starting in 7th. 07, Jacob Williams, starting in 8th. Rat Fink driver, number 68, Tom Ringer, gritting in P9, and Zach Reichel in 86, starting in 10th. Row number 6, you got the 32 of Jonathan Geis, starting in 11th. The 1 of Gary Bergeron, starting in 12th. Row number 7, 99 of Christian Clark, starting in 13th. And the 9 car of Tad Dabney, starting in 14th. Row number 8, 03 car, Austin Knight, starting in 15th. 43, Hunter Cox to his outside in 16th. Row number 9, 56, Mark Holloway. Beer Runs Racing, number 60, Brian Sousa, starting in 18th. Row number 10, starting in 19th, 20 cars, Scott Hodge. To his outside, Jackson Duke in 08, starting in 20th. Starting in 21st, you got the 3 car of Sean Dion. We did have a few cars that elected not to qualify. You got the 48 car of Max Denda, 13 car Tanner Honeycutt, 67 of Charles Connor, 82 of Christopher Morton, 63 of Craig Knoll, 58 of JB Harrison, and the 55 Andy Schmidt, who elected not to qualify to wrap up our 28 car field here tonight.
And as we're pacing around this lap, go ahead and watch our producer Damon O'Brien change that broadcasting level to something clearer for you guys, so you guys can see this next level racing. He does this amazingly, and he's going to really set it up here for you guys. I'm excited to watch this race, Hunter. How do you feel it's going to go?
I think we're going to see, some guys kind of testing the waters out early. We did take a quick intermission due to some setup changes. So I think that, it's going to take a couple laps for these guys to kind of get going and to get a feel for how these things are going to drive here tonight.
Oh, yeah, I have to agree. And with Jordan Tross not gritting immediately, it's going to allow the 87 to pull up to the outside line. Brandon Moore hasn't raced for a while, but he's here. One guy I want to keep an eye on, man, I got to call this out. Thomas Long started P5. Out of turn 4, pace car is off. We're getting ready. Matthew Tennant, Beer Run Racing driver, going to take that green flag, He's going to get it going, but he's got Brandon Hinton right on his end, giving him a nice bump from TRN, and also Ratfin Driver on his outside line there. The guy starting P2, he is an open contract driver, showing these guys that look at Thomas Long. 3 wide for the lead already, as these guys are spanning out. Brandon Hinton, Brandon Moore going to freight train him.
5 car looking at the inside, get the 23 behind him. That 87 is going to stay up next to the wall. Going to easily get the run out of here. And turn number 4 gets a little loose there into the wall. It's damn, we're collected. 54, hard wreck.
54.
Number 1, we got the big one.
Yes, sir. I win that bet. And it looks like those guys having a crazy time out there.
So we're going to get this replay all spun up, and we're going to play a game. Since this is the darts without feathers, we're going to play a game and see if a dart without feathers may have caused this wreck.
Let's take a look at the 87 or the 54. Those are 2 guys that you can take a look at. 48 is far behind there. We're looking at his replay. Wreck happens right when they come into the shaded area, so it's a little harder to see. They're in the triangle, actually. And just, I mean, when, 48, dart without feathers right there. What do you say?
Looking right here at the visual of the 87, it looks like he got a little bit loose there coming through the quad, gets loose on the exit. 54 right at the rear bumper, pulls that air off, and then he's just trying to collect it, and just the big one ensues.
Well, if you looked at him right before, like you called it, you said he got loose. You see him moving up towards the outside wall. He kicks out the rear end already immediately, right about there in the middle of the corner. So we're looking at the replay, kicks it right about there. He's already loose. So now he's moving down the track. 54 comes on, takes the air off the spoiler, and that causes him to kick into the wall again. And he drops down, hits 54, 59, our pole sitter, Matthew 10. He's taken out of that too.
Looks like we had some issues with the 20 car under caution. Locks him up and maybe gets a little bit of contact, hopefully not too much damage.
Now remember, this is the darts without feathers race at Charlotte. So these guys are understanding that that is the race name, and they understand that we're having fun out here. We might call them a dart without feathers right now.
Yeah, one guy I do want to give a shout out to is the guy who is currently sitting in position number 1. The 5 car of Brandon Hinton is sponsoring this race here tonight. The darts without feathers. It was something that he came up with, a few weeks ago. He created a logo and he is absolutely running with it. So give a huge shout out to that 5 car Brandon Hinton for sponsoring this weekend of racing.
Yeah, him and a fellow DES driver, Todd Perrant, came together and decided that this was something they're going to do. Todd Perrant runs the number 69. He's not here today. But, seeing this kind of racing and stuff like that and things going on, they want to make sure people get their act together. And they're going to call them out. That's what you should do in racing, right, Hunter? If somebody's driving you in a terrible way, you should say something to them. And these guys are making a statement. Darts without feathers, stop being that way.
And it looks like we had our first DNF of tonight. The 87 car, who was your front row runner in position number 2, is no longer continuing this race.
Looks like he had a packet loss issue. Brandon Moore, he's been a great guy in that 87. He's one of those guys who helped me out on the stages. So it sucks to see him not be here, as we're going to get double file here real quick with Brandon Hinton and Thomas Long. Again, the guy I said keep an eye on is starting P2.
These guys are lining up onto the back stretch. It's going to be an interesting race tonight. Charlotte is a track of speed yet tire attrition. It doesn't quite run like a super speedway. Draft does play into very, very minute slight effects, but it mainly comes down to how well these guys can keep the cars under control, stay out of the wall and exit of corners, and how much speed they can carry.
And look at that, Chuck Burley in the 4 car. He's getting ready to go. He's already pulling up to the 5 car, but then he's also got his teammate, the 07, right there on his outside. So we're going to see an interesting start here.
Brandon Hinton with a good jump there into the restart zone. It's going to leave the 4 and the 23 side by side into turn number 1.
Remember, Brandon was champion in the NextGen series. He was our first ever champion, so he knows how to wheel and deal this machine. So he's going to look to check out on these guys and hold strong on them.
We've got a little bit of 3 wide racing going on towards the back of the pack.
Oh, it looks like Chuck Burley is getting towards that 5 car right now. He's looking to try and take a peek underneath him and take the
Yellow
lead.
is out. Yellow is out. Let's look at see if we can get a good look at the 67 of Charles Connor. Sounds like he was involved.
He's still rolling. I mean, yeah, it sounds like he's involved. He said he wasn't expecting something and something happened. So we're going to take a look and see what could have possibly gone wrong there.
Oh, massive contact for the 79. Looks like the 79 and 20 get together there going into the quad oval, and that'll bring out caution number 2 of tonight.
You know, Hunter, do you remember the name of the race, right? Remember the sponsor of today's race? I'm going to have to say it. That's a dart without feathers moment, man. That, I don't know what the 20 car was doing. I don't know how he would come down like that and clean somebody out.
We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon. Which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Marijuana, stimulating, mind expanding, safer to use than alcohol. It's the in thing, the hula hoop of the jet generation. Marijuana is an intoxicating, mind-muddling drug and as much a part of growing up as smoking corn silk behind the back fence. This has been a public service message of the American Medical Association and your local station.
He fell. Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
Well, you can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
Is there anyone out there who still isn't clear about what doing drugs does? Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Hey, Lindsay? I wish he didn't smoke weed.
And welcome back after that quick commercial break. We are lined up double file. Lap number 10, you got the 5 of Brandon Hinton leading the inside, 4 car of Chuck Burley on the outside. Gary Bergeron, Thomas Long, row number 2, Christian Clark, and Jacob Williams, row number 3.
Now, I got to call it out, man. You know, Chuck Burley, he's kind of a chill guy. He doesn't like to cause any issues. And then also Christian Clark, he's really good in these cars, man. Look at him creeping his way towards front. We're still early in this race, though.
Brandon Hinton leading him to the restart zone, and off he goes. Nice little jump there for that 5 car. 4 is going to almost clear the 1. Going in, I expect to see a good run here coming onto the backstretch.
5 car is going to hold strong. He's going to take Gary Bergeron out there with him. Chuck Burley's going to run the outside. He's going to take Thomas Long there with Christian Clark coming in tow in the P5 position, but Tom Ringer following up in the P6.
Got some nice double file racing going on back there as you see these guys start to fan out. I'd say if you give it maybe 5 or 6 laps, this field is going to be completely spread apart. Oh, as we also have a new race leader, the 1 car of Gary Bergeron took over the 5 car Brandon Hinton, and that car hard into the inside wall. Looks like a single wreck. Single wreck. We're going to say green, and the yellow comes up.
That's an iRacing caution. That's not a wreck that we threw, and it looks like Max is already apologizing in 48, so might have been something around him that caused that situation. We don't know for sure.
That is the 82 car of Christopher Morton. Looking here at the replay, 48 drifted apart into the 82. 82 tries to gather it together and collects the inside safer barrier. Caution number 3 on lap 13.
Having a lot of cautions so far, man. That's something that they don't want to see, but at the end of the day, based off what I saw in that little short stint, we're getting closer and closer to a green flag run.
Yeah, these guys are still trying to figure the track out and how they're going to race with each other. You know, Charlotte's a difficult track just due to the fact of, you know, these cars push up extremely to an extreme there on the exit of corners. So trying to keep these guys down on the bottom and have a smooth exit transition it can definitely prove to be difficult.
Yeah, and they're starting to figure that out. One thing that I've noticed when I've ran this car here, in 3 and 4, the car kind of pitches up real bad. In 1 and 2, it kind of throws the rear end around. So they're trying everything they can as the 20 car is going to get the lucky dog. As Brandon Hinton is still towards the front. Remember, he's the guy who supported this sponsor of this race, put forth the avenue for it. We want to thank the number 5 of Brandon Hinton and support him in everything he does. I gotta ask, Hunter, do you think your tires are worn or anything?
No, not necessarily yet. I mean, you'll start seeing them if they keep getting these heat cycles on them. But I don't think anybody's really pushed to their full extent yet. Maybe those guys running up front, but I know Brandon Hinton is usually a phenomenal tire saver. So, you know, trying to see if the 1 or the 4 car was maybe burning them up just a little bit to try to get around him. But I look to see those guys start to even out as the run goes on.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because this is going to change tire strategy. You know, these guys are sitting here and they've got to make sure they can make it to the end. And they only have a set number of tires. We're 14 laps in, 15 laps in, and I think we've done 5 green flag laps, 4 green flag laps. So are you going to consider that as, you know, wear on the tires, or are you going to just focus on the fact that you've been pacing a lot?
I mean, right now would be a time I'd be focused on saving fuel to try to extend this run. I mean, we don't have any, guaranteed stage breaks in the Next Gen series. So I think these guys are going to more focus on trying to save fuel, conserve their tires a little bit to extend this run if and when we do get a green flag run.
I have to agree with you on that. It looks like Brandon Hinton's getting prepared for the situation in front of him, looking at him swerving, warming up those tires. But look right behind him, Christian Clark was doing the exact same thing, mirroring his tire tracks. Do you think he's going to mirror his tire tracks in the race?
I mean, I think these guys are going to run the line that they feel most comfortable with, and, for whatever their strategies or their goals are for this race. I don't necessarily think you're going to see as much mirror driving here at Charlotte.
I can't argue with you on that kind of stuff, man. You're a smart man. You know the strategies.
Pace car pulls off. One car leading us to the green flag, and there we go. Gary Bergeron taking it 5 and 4 side by side for position number 2.
Gary's going to get a nice launch with the green into him. Yes, Jerry ran the outside, but Brandon Hinton's going to secure that second place position. Christian Clark in P4, Chuck Burley P3.
Yeah, and then you got Thomas Long and Tom Ringer to round off your top 6. Those are the guys who are single filed out. Then you got a little bit of side-by-side racing going on right behind them. You got the 86 car of Zach Reichel, the 07 of Jacob Williams, Jackson Duke in the 08, and Austin Knight in the 03. We're racing it out for position 6 through 10.
Now, one thing I want to call out, Hunter Cox battling Zachary Reichel for position right now. It's going to be for the P6 position. Hunter Cox is going to sail it around the outside. He's going to set his sights on Tom Ringer.
Nose to bumper, looks to go to the inside. It looks like he's going to get a fender underneath. The Ringer's going to go high. The 43 goes to he's going to clear here in turns 1 and 2.
Now, this is the 135 lap race. Do you think that's burning tires? Because look at the gap he got on him. He's even about to look on the inside of Thomas Long. He's actually going to look on the outside of Thomas Long. Do you think he might be cooking the tires?
I definitely think he's pushing a little bit harder than the way that he should be looking at it, but I also think that, we have no guarantee when this next caution is, so they may get a caution here in 20 laps, and that'll be the perfect time for him to go and take tires, and the strategy will play off.
He's currently looking at Thomas Long and Christian Clark, but they're kind of running a rolling roadblock on him. It's going to allow Zachary Reichel to get to him. He's going to go to the outside. Thomas Long's going to push up. He's going to continue, but he lifted. We got a caution. Jerry Bergeron wrecking.
Oh, it looks like you have the 63 of Craig Knoll also into the pit road.
Jerry was leading this race. Oh, he caught the apron, snapped out, hit Brandon Hinton. He's already apologizing. He said he got loose and he just had nowhere to go. You got Craig Knoll involved as well. Man, Hunter, how would you feel if you were leading and had that snap of a moment?
I mean, that's definitely unfortunate. It's important to pay attention to where you're placing your car, and if you clip that apron, that's definitely going to add some difficulty to that, as we now have a massive shake-up in the field. The 5 car, Brandon Hinton's got to come down pit road to get some repairs done. Your leader, the 1 car, Gary Bergeron, also down into pit road. Looks like he had some pretty significant damage on that 1 car.
So we have an additional takers. We've got Charles Connor, Jordan Tross. They're also going to hit pit road. I think they're just going to top off fuel and get some extra tires, maybe some little damage they got going on. But man, for Jerry, that's super unfortunate, man. He was in motion. He was trying to get out there and set a tempo, and it just bit him.
54 car of Tyler Waltz, your lucky dog winner for this caution. He's going to get a lap back, and if I'm not mistaken, that will put him back on the lead lap in position number 22.
Now, here's the interesting thing, right? The two guys who are taking over the lead, the first and second place position, have not been up here. They've been mired in the top 5, but they have not been in the clean air. You've got Chuck Burley and Christian Clark. Christian Clark will be starting on the outside. Who would you take, Chuck Burley or Christian Clark?
I mean, it all depends on where you want to go. Usually on the restarts, the low line is going to be the line that you want to choose because you're not fully at the speed yet, so the shortest way around the track is going to prove to be the most beneficial just because the top line is not going to have the speed on exit that they would normally have once they're up to speed.
And I think you said it right there. Up to speed is the thing. I think the up to speed point comes towards the end of the backstretch. So if, Christian Clark can hold him, stay with him, towards 3 and 4, he could sail around the 4. But with that same thing said, if he doesn't, Chuck Burley can hold the bottom line of 1 and 2, extend the gap on the 99, and the 99 is now getting freight trained by the 23 and getting freight trained by the car behind him. Like, that's kind of where it goes in my mind.
I mean, usually it's about a lap to a lap and a half to get actually fully up to speed. So I don't think that they're going to see that outside line really start to pay off until at least the first lap after the restart is complete, possibly into the exit of turn number 2 after the first lap.
We are lining up for this right now. One guy I want to talk about who hasn't been towards the front that much, Max Denda. He's a very strong driver. He's not up there. But at the same note, in P5, you got Zachary Reichel in those immersive wisdom car right there. He is getting towards the front himself.
Yeah, for those of you that are watching out there on the YouTube, feel free to drop a comment if you guys want to talk to us, want to hear us talk about somebody over the radio, or just chat with us. Feel free to drop a comment. Make sure to like and subscribe to benefit the channel. Here we go. Back to green flag. New race leader 4th, Chuck Burley. 99 of Christian Clark is going to secure position number 2.
Chuck Burley gets an amazing launch. Exactly what I was saying. He needed to hold him on the outside. He didn't. And now look at him. He's in potential losing P2 to Hunter Cox right now.
They're going to go side by side. Looks like the 99 is going to succeed. Oh, car around into the wall in the exit of turn number 4. Looks like everybody stays good for now. Let's hope he can keep it up there and we stay green.
These guys are moving hard right now. Look at that. Hunter Cox. He's getting really onto that 4 car. He's pushing it hard. Look at him getting closer and closer. That's going to burn tires, but that's going to give you an advantage right now early on.
Yeah, I think you're going to see as this run starts to go, the guys who were pushing versus the guys who were saving, they're going to start to separate themselves out.
Hunter Cox holding strong, but he's got to make sure he's not burning up his material because that 99 is sitting there in the cut waiting for his chance to pounce.
As this field has now drastically spread out. Maybe we can see if we can get one of the track maps up there in the top right to show you just how much this field has spread out once the green flag is dropped.
I want to keep my eye on the 99 because if you look at it, the 4 and 43 are pushing hard. Now, a great thing about these two cars here leading the way, Chuck Burley, he creates a lot of the paint schemes for the Rat Pink Racing community. He is amazing. That's one of his own custom paint schemes, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. That 43 was created by someone else, and that was also a very beautiful paint scheme. But then the 99, he makes his own, and look at him, lurking in the back. He's not a dart without feathers, but he is lurking right there. He's a dart with feathers right now.
A good little play on words there. as it looks like our leaders have separated themselves out by about a second gap to our 4th place runner of the 08 car of Duke.
Do you notice something about the first 3? Do you notice they're not going down to that white line? While the 3rd place car of Duke, a new person coming into the DS, is hovering over that white line. He's taking the shortest way around the track, but those guys are showing, those first 3 who are still all on top of each other, are showing that they really have the way around the track, you know?
The 23 of Thomas Long has been slowly falling back, just got passed by the 68 of Tom Ringer. Now it looks like you have the 32 of Jonathan Geist also looking to make that pass as he's hugging that white line down the bottom.
And see, you just called me a liar right there, and that's great. I love it, because the front 3 are not hugging that white line, but you're seeing guys in the back hugging that white line, like guys that you just brought up. So maybe somebody else has a better feeling of this track, like guys, or those guys back there, you know, Hunter. Where would you want to be running this track on a green flag run in the next-gen car?
I mean, we're on lap 30 of 135. Right now, my only focus is saving tires and keeping this car good to the end. I'm going to be right down there on the bottom, and I will give up every position that I need to just to maintain a clean position.
Now, I want to talk about Jonathan Geist as well. He's been knocking on the door of a race win or a podium finish for a while. He's a very strong driver. He's very consistent. He's patient with people and things like that. Do you think this kind of car and track combination will lean on him being that kind of patient and being that kind of good person?
I think that it will be, and I think everybody kind of struggles with this, but you have to find, there's a time where you need to be patient. You need to just kind of, hey, I'm going to back it off a little bit, but there's also a time that you just need to push. And it looks like the 48 is significantly off pace, possibly coming down in here to start a pit cycle.
He started early being on the back stretch like that. You don't want to like show that you're going to pit until about the exit of turn 3.
Sorry, but back to that. Yeah, so I do think that, Jonathan Geist has an awesome long run speed in terms of preserving his tires, maintaining that patience. And then, at the end, if he can learn to just simply push the car that little bit of extra bit there towards the end, that race win is right around the corner for him.
I have to agree with you. I think in his situation, the slight bit of aggressiveness is not there, but on a track like this, I don't think he needs it. I mean, this a Charlotte Motor Speedway race in the next-gen car, this long, 200 miles. It's actually 202.5 miles of racing. I think he's kind of right in the niche that he needs to be. I think what he's doing is going to be great. But at the end of the day, you also have to remember, he's on track with people like Tom Ringer. He's on track with people like Tanner Honeycutt, his teammate, Brandon Hinton, his teammate, Brian Sousa, Beer Run Racing, Mark Holloway, a Rap Think driver. Those guys do the same thing, and that's going to create him a problem. I think, I know we're early in the race, but I think he's somebody to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, who I'm keeping my eye on right now is that 5 car of Brandon Hinton, who was involved in that last accident, had some significant damage, restarted at the rear of the pack, is all the way back up to P11, knocking on the back door of P10.
Yeah, he's out there battling with Matthew Tennant. It looks like Max Denda, the 48, has decided to park his vehicle. He is not going to be a contention of this race. We're going to watch the 5 car battle with the 59, though.
5 cars looking to the inside. Looks like that outside lane might be getting a little bit held up. 5's going to try to hold to the bottom, see if he can clear right here.
Well, the thing is where he's at is that's 2 cars he needs to pass. He also needs to pass the 007. And the 007 kind of held up the 59. So these guys are fighting hard. Next car he's going to have to battle is Thomas Long.
He's going to clear right there, and now he's got his sights set on that 23 car, Thomas Long.
Thomas Long is one of those drivers who are really good at conserving their materials, so he may get passed by the 5 car here right now, but that's not to say that he's not plotting something, because notice he's also putting a gap on the guys behind him. And notice he ran the middle line and didn't hold down the 5 car, but was able to hold his momentum. That's kind of some stuff that I'm starting to notice about cars out here.
Let's get a little cockpit view here from that 5 car and just see how smooth his corners are here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We just had a little turn it up moment as we were following with that 5 car. It looks like we did have a little solo spin there, trying to go figure out and see what happened. Looks like the 63 of Craig Knoll was our solo spinner there through the infield. Looks like nobody was involved. He was able to safely get it back onto the track, and we will remain green flag racing. One thing to pay attention to, Edwin, that you brought up earlier, you know, is how hard we're pushing and where the tires are at. Look at your race leader, Chuck Burley, now with a 1.5-second gap over your second place car, the 43 of Hunter Cox. Tom Ringer now looking to the inside. Looks like he will secure that position from the 43, and now it is a Rat Fink 1 and 2. Not quite for sure what these guys' fuel windows are looking like. I know most of these guys out here have not cycled through any sort of pit stops here yet. So I'm kind of interested to see how long their fuel window is going to be and when we're going to start seeing green flag stop cycle. We have a nice battle here for position number 3 starting to develop. You got the 43 of Hunter Cox currently sitting in third. The 99 of Christian Clark is right there at his rear bumper trying to make this pass work. He's going to try to look to the inside, get a fender, and it looks like he's going to suction down to the bottom. As we just had our first green flag stop called over the radio, the 32 of Jonathan Geis is going to be pitting this lap with the 9 of Tad Dabney pitting as well. I think the 32 car is going to pull down and start slowing down there on the back stretch. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much time there. as the 9's going to follow in suit and pull down, try to get it woed up before that hit entry cone. We are now 47 laps complete. Still got the 4 car of Chuck Burley out front with his teammate, the 68, right behind him. Now you got the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt, was able to make the pass on the 43 car. Now you got the 99 of Christian Clark looking to make the pass on the 43 of Hunter Cox for the 4th position. And look in position number 6. We talked about him earlier. 5 car of Brandon Hinton has now driven his way from the back of the pack back up to position number 6, 6.5 seconds off the leader. And the next cycles are starting. You got the 43 of Hunter Cox, the 08. The 20 car of Scott Hodge. As these stops are starting to cycle, there goes the 08 down. That's going to cycle Brandon Hinton out into the top 5. He does have a little bit more of a fuel run. Sorry, a little bit more fuel in the tank as he had to come down pit road to get some damage repaired after that incident with the 1 car in an earlier caution. As we're cycling through our green flag stops, let's see if we can go to the field and get some good look at some of these paint schemes these guys are running out here tonight. I see a lot of new ones on some of these cars. Looking at the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt, that carbon fiber DES iRacing, TRN racing scheme. There's the 5 car Brandon Hinton with that classic Miami Vice scheme. We got the 4 car of Chuck Burley and the 23 of Thomas Long, 54 of Tyler Waltz coming in this time by. Look at that Rat Fink chrome scheme. Oh, and the yellow comes out. That's definitely going to throw a wrench in some things. Looks like the 08 car of Jackson Duke may have looped it coming here off the pit road. A victim of cold tires, as it appears. That is going to throw a big wrench in things as these stops have cycled. I think everybody that is currently on the lead lap is going to pit in. That's going to allow some of these guys to get their laps back who had previously pitted. You have the 07 car of Jacob Williams is going to be your lucky dog candidate. 43 of Hunter Cox. You have the 9 of Tab Dabney. The 99 of Christian Clark are all going to be your lucky dog waiver rounds. As our pit stops are cycling, we now are 54 laps complete. Oh, we had a little, looks like an accident there on the center of pit road. Looks like somebody got a little loose, spun the tires, and may have looped it. Not quite for sure who that was, but it looks like nobody received any damage from it. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Mike, I know you think your truck is totally sick, but this is what I think of your precious 4x4 hang out all day with your stupid friend's truck! Push it!
They had my name legally changed.
I woke up with stamps all over my body!
They play Connect the Dots with my freckles.
Have you or a loved one been wronged by a Sour Patch Kid?
We have.
I never thought it could happen to me because I'm pretty.
Come on, man. Stop being a victim and start demanding justice.
We want our justice! They came out.
These claims against my client are baseless. But hey, if you want to waste more of my expensive time, upload your own evidence here.
The Sour Patch Kids aren't your typical friendly.
And welcome back after that quick commercial break. Ratfink number 4 and Ratfink 68 leading this field to the green flag into the restart zone. Here we go. 4 is going to clear. He is going to change his lane prior to the start and finish line, which we typically do not allow here in DES. We'll make sure to notify him just to be cognizant of when you're swapping lanes there. These cars are fanning back out. You have 2 distinct lines running here into turn number 3. We got some 3-wide racing going on towards the back of the pack. We got a nice little separation. Looks like our first 6 cars are all single file. You have Ratfink 1, 2, TRN 3, 4. And you got Tyler Waltz and Thomas Long to round out your top 6. Those guys that are single file. Oh, car going down to the inside. Oh, keep it down there on the bottom. Looks like he's going to loop it around. And the yellow flag is out. Looking at the 43 of Hunter Cox and the 60 of Brian Sousa involved in this incident. Like the 43 came down there off the track into the 60, and the 60 of Brian Sousa is going to pay the price on that one. He's definitely going to have to go down pit road and grab some repairs. We're going to go away to a quick commercial break. We will be right back. And welcome back after that quick commercial break. Looks like everybody's get their damage repaired from that accident. You got the 4 of Chuck Burley leading the field to the green flag. His teammate 68 of Tom Ringer to the outside. You have 2 teammates to make up row number 2. You got the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt and the 5 of Brandon Hinton. Row number 3, Tyler Waltz, and 23 of Thomas Long.
It's going to be an interesting restart here. We're lap 62. These guys have a lot they have to pay attention to. A lot of them have 7 laps on their tires. Chuck Burley with 9. So as we wave the green flag, we're going to see what goes on here today. Chuck Burley with an amazing jump.
As we go up through the gears, looks like Chuck Burley is going to be able to maintain a comfortable lead there with his teammate right behind him, but I wouldn't count out those 2 cars right behind him as they've already shown a lot of speed here tonight.
54 coming under threat from the 23 of Thomas Long, but look who's also back there. You've got Charles Connor in the 67, but Mark Holloway in his machine right there. He's also creeping his way towards the front.
Yeah, that 56 car has shown a lot of speed here tonight. He's worked his way from starting back in position number 17 up to position number 8. That's one of your biggest movers. I mean, you have Tanner Honeycutt gridded in position 24 up to position number 3. Charles Connor currently running in 7th, started in position 25. So some massive moves up there to get up in front.
And those guys are teammates, so maybe they're coordinating with each other on how to get towards the front. But they still got a lot of cars in their way, one of them including their teammate. But Tanner Honeycutt's kind of on an island. You know, the next 2 cars in front of him are teammates, and he's got to figure out a way to get past both of them. I'm not saying that they're going to do anything to stop him from getting there, but you best believe they're going to want to maintain that 1-2.
Oh, for sure. And they're already trying to drive away from the pack as the 13 car is trying to maintain that pace. You got the 5 car, Brandon Hinton, right behind him, who is looking under threat from the 54. Another Rat Fink driver in position number 5.
Looks like we got a lot of interesting battles here right now. A lot of cars wrecked on the front stretch. Somebody just radioed in, so we're going to take a quick look at that. No, there's a big wreck on the front stretch. Probably not actually. Maybe some
43
smoke,
of Hunter
crazy.
Cox involved, as well as it looks like the 08.
Oh, and it looks like another car was involved as well. Ran into the backs of Hunter Cox. It looks like the 08, 59, 08 were all involved. Yeah, look at the 58. He got into the back of Hunter Cox, sent him around. That's going to be some serious damage right there.
We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Agent State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut. Hey, Arnold, I'm hearing neighbor. It's neighbor.
That's what I said. Neighbor.
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 Hey, let's go again.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut.
Now what?
It's neighbor.
Neighbor.
Cut.
Neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor. Just like it's written on the paper. This lady is in labor.
Cut.
Look at this. This is labor. Like a good neighbor. That was the sheep. And you know it.
It's like you're cold. Brr.
Yeah, I'm cold. Bah. Neighbor.
Still no.
Like a good neighbor.
Cut.
Burr.
Bah.
Burr.
Bah.
Burr.
Bah.
Neighbor.
Neighbor.
Burr.
Bah.
Burr.
Bah. Get me under this chopper.
It's pronounced chopper.
Don't.
It is.
Neighbor. A little bit more concealer.
Hey, Arnold. Got a bit of a script change.
Script change.
And welcome. Go ahead, Edwin.
I think we both jumped to the gun there. We're back at the Darts Without Feathers race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Chuck Burley leading the way with Tanner Honeycutt start P2. He's also got Brandon Hinton start P3, Thomas Long in P4, and then you got Charles Conner in P6. And then outside of him, we are going to have Christian Clark. And I'm going to have to be honest with you, man. This is a very interesting top 6, maybe even top 8. How often do we get to talking about this group of people leading the show?
You know, so I'm more optimistic here. We have a powerhouse of a top 10 up here, top 15. These guys are all solid racers, out here just turning out these laps, trying to maximize their points for this. You have the reigning champion running in third, the guy who lost the championship by 1 point is out here running with inside your top 12. So, we've got an absolute powerhouse of a field out here racing it.
And that's kind of like we're saying the same thing. We're going to take the green flag real quick. I'm going to talk about this real quick as we come down to the restart zone. 4-car, massive jump. 5 cars going to follow him through there. 13-23 are not going to get as good as the jump. 67 is a little lagging behind, but he is going to get a pretty decent jump. He's going to come out there and probably threaten for that position. He actually does not, and he is going to sing back. What I'm saying about that group of people up there is, yes, we have a defending champion up there. Yes, we have teammates to those guys. Yes, these guys, most of that top 8 I talked about are race winners, excluding, to my knowledge, Thomas Long, Christian Clark. They are not race winners. But at the end of the day, these are some of the most consistent guys in the front. We have a caution. The battle of consistency rages on. Let's see if we have a Dart Without Feathers moment here real quick. Let's see what brought out our caution. We might have to take a moment on that one, but we're going to take a look at what brought out our caution.
Look at the 9 car of Tad Dabney. It looks like it all started up there with him. He kind of got into the wall. Not for sure what happened after that.
Oh, it looks like 2 cars actually got into the wall. If you see right behind him, the 20 car also slams the wall at the exact same time.
Yeah, they were both out there sliding through the infield, and it looks like the 9, after that incident, got a little help getting around.
Hunter Davis, I know you're the nice guy here, man. You're a swell dude. You're very, consistent. You have one of the best racecrafts I've ever seen in my life. But at the end of the day, I see a Dart Without Feathers moment right there. There's a couple guys who, they could have done something differently. I'm not going to call anybody out, but there was a lot that could have been done differently in that moment to prevent a caution situation.
Yeah, ultimately, these guys are still trying to figure it out. Charlotte can be a very difficult track if you're not used to it and you're not used to how other people drive it. The hardest part is, when you're involved in an accident, is make sure to keep that car out of the racing line to allow these other guys. You're going to lose positions. You've already kind of scrubbed the wall. You've lost your speed. just kind of accept defeat and, you know, fall back into line whenever it's due, and then start climbing your way back up through the field.
Now, here's the thing, though. As the leaders fake out pit road, but Chuck Burley actually does go. Here's my thing, though. We're 74 laps in now at this point. Do you stop giving people the benefit of the doubt, or do you continue and say, hey, they might be on older tires, hey, something else might be going on, there's a reason why they're racing this way?
I mean, that's such an open-ended question, you know. Everybody races different. There's not one guy that races the same as the next, so it's kind of hard to justify, you know, how people race a certain way.
Man, you never fail to answer questions in the most advanced way possible. I don't think you could have said it any differently. You know, everybody races differently. Yes, maybe they could have done something different if they were racing like you, but everybody's their own individual person, and things tend to happen.
Yeah, you know, overall, this race is sponsored by the Dart with Feathers, and you know, we've been kind of running with a few jokes out there, but it's actually been an awesome race out here tonight. You know, these guys are exercising their talent to drive the way through the field. We've had a few mistakes happen here and there, right? But that's to be expected. Nobody out here is a professional driver, you know. But we did actually have one of DES's very own drivers, Tyler Tomasi, ran in the truck race here at tonight at Pocono and finished position 23rd. So that was, you know, congratulations to him. It's awesome to see guys that we, you know, sim race with online out there running the real deal in the truck series.
Oh man, I'm so happy you brought up Tyler Tomasi. You know, me and you both have ran him towards the front, and he is on a next level. He is an amazing driver. He's methodical, and just to come out in front of him, even after a lap, it's amazing. He's a next level driver. He was actually catching the 5 car in that race towards the end. He dropped it from a 10-second gap to about a second and a half. He was in motion. If that race was a little bit longer, I think he would have been there.
Which it does sound like he's got a few more races lined up for the remainder of the season, so we definitely like to wish him luck, you know, moving forward throughout the races he's going to do in the Truck and Xfinity Series. But back to our race, back to green flag racing the 5-car Brandon Hinton with a massive jump on the field. Looks like the 13 is going to fall into position number 2 with the 23 looking to take that away.
The 23, you know, normally the 23 out immediately.
Looking at the
15.
There you go, the 08 car of Jackson Duke.
He said 15, but there's actually no 15 in this race, so I don't know exactly what could have potentially happened. It looks like the 55 might have been the issue. So they go into the corner, self-clear. I'm sorry. I gotta call it as what I is, man. That looks like a self-clear to me. And, you know, that's not his fault. He's hoping that he has a better run. He just a little misjudged the situation and came down in front of that car. It's not a problem, but at the same time, you want to wait for that notion of you're clear.
Yeah, you know, and that's just it's a simple mistake that you see, you know, quite often. It's hard when you're out here, you know, you're driving that fast, you're focused on the guy in front of you, the guy behind you, and then sometimes you'll forget about the guy to your inside. So, you know, it's an easy mistake to make. So looking to see these guys get it all back together, and let's get back to green flag racing.
I can't act like I've never done anything like that, as we've got a lot of guys ducking the pit road, but I can't act like I've ever done anything like that. You know, self-clearing is a part of racing. Sometimes you're just like hoping and praying that you are ahead of him, and you're not. But we've got Thomas Long, Tad Dabney on pit road. We've got some interesting front-running cars. Thomas Long is probably the most interesting one for him to duck down there.
Looks like he's doing a 4-tire stop right here. The left sides go on, and he is coming out.
He's just trying to set himself up for later in the run because, again, we're going to go green about, if I know correctly, we're going to be either lap 80 or lap 81. So he's trying to set himself up on that fuel mileage strategy, tire strategy, but keep an eye on that number 4, Chuck Burley. He's currently sitting back in P13, but I do see him coming towards the front.
And we're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. And welcome back after that quick commercial break. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to stack it up side by side. You get the 5 car of Brandon Hinton leading this field to the green. 13 of Tanner Honeycutt was outside. 99 of Christian Clark running up in third. 56 of Mark Holloway in fourth. And the 67 of Charles Connor to round out your top 5. And the pace car is going to pull off. Let's see if the 5 can get a good restart here and pull out to as good as a gap as he did last time. And here they go. Green flag. Five car up to a good jump. 13 did not get a good one. He's not going to be side by side with the 91 car going through turns 1 and 2. He's going to try to carry that high line to the outside. If he can keep it off the wall, looks like he's going to secure position number 2. As our front 5 has now single filed out. The 67 looking to the inside of the 56 of Mark Holloway. A little bit of contact there. He's trying to get the fender under, and it looks like he will get it going into turn number 1. The harder these guys race back here, the more it's going to allow our leaders to pull away. As Tom Ringer almost peeking to the bottom 3 wide of the 67 of Charles Connor. 67 still trying to make that low line work. It looks like the 60 car of Brian Sousa is going to get that high line to work. '68 of Tom Ringer is going to look to the inside of the 67 car, trying to make that low line work against him. It wasn't going to work against the 60 car. Let's see if he can get it to work now. And a yellow, it comes out. Looks like the 59 of Matthew Tennant was involved in this. We're going to look at a quick little replay here and see what happened. And let's see what happened here. Looked like he may have made a little bit of contact there with that outside wall. And that just got him just loose enough. He tried to save it. Thankfully, it looks like no other car. Ooh, massive impact there.
Oh, looks like the 82 might have been involved somehow. He snapped it into the wall right after that.
As we now are 83 laps complete. Have 50 laps remaining here in this race. Let's see if these guys can get it straightened out and get some good green flag runs here to the end.
Got a lot of guys hitting pit road. One of them is going to be Brandon Hinton in the 5 car. He darted down pit road. So a lot going on right now. It's going to be a real interesting shakeup right now.
Yeah, it looks like, I know the 68 of Tom Ringer pitted at an earlier caution. It looks like our other guys who are up there are out front. Brandon Hinton, Tanner Honeycutt, Christian Clark, Mark Holloway, Charles Connor all come down pit road for some fuel and tires.
Do you think tires are going to be an issue here? Because again, Tom Ringer and Tyler Waltz, Chuck Burley, they're all still out there. These guys who are just hit pit road are going to get a little bit more fuel. Do you think that's going to come into play?
I mean, it definitely could. I'm not for sure how many tires these guys have left or what their fuel window is looking like, but I definitely think that tires will come into play at the end of the race.
Now, Brandon Hinton is in pit road, but it looks like he might come out in P8 position. He came out in the P8 position. Let me correct myself. So he's still towards the front. He still has a solid chance, him and Tanner Honeycutt, who is coming out in P9 position, with Christian Clark in P10. That's going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like we may have had a few guys stay out. The 20 car of Scott Hodge is currently being scored in front of Brandon. You have the 07 car of Jacob Williams also running in front. Oh, looks like Jacob is falling to the rear as he's actually 4 laps down, so it's going to cycle him to the back.
Scott Hodge is an interesting one. He is on 31 lap old stuff. He has not hit pit road for 31 laps. So that could come and play a factor in here today's race.
Oh, it most definitely will, you know, and it's going to be difficult for whoever's restarting behind him to get a good restart just because the old tires, he's not going to be able to get as good of a jump as the guys on fresher tires will. So these guys definitely need to be careful not to run over the guys right in front of you because you are going to be a lot quicker than those guys on 30-lap old tires.
A lot of patience being shown by people today, such as, you know, Thomas Long. He's been up there. He's been towards the back. He's been towards the front. Not too much going on with him. You've got Hunter Cox. He's also up there. And Austin McKnight in the 03. He's shown a lot of patience today, too. So we'll see if they got something for those 3 Rat Bank cars in front of them.
Yeah, Austin Knight, gridded in 15th, is currently running in position number 6. I think this is his highest for this race. I look forward to seeing him try to work his way further up into the field as we're back to green flag racing. 68 of Tom Ringer going to get a huge jump there on that inside line. His teammate, the 4 of Chuck Burley, is going to follow in suit.
And they're going to try and settle into a 1-2-3 position as they currently are right now. But Hunter Cox is going to play spoiled to that, and he's going to get up into the P3 position.
Look like we might have had a little bit of a check up there towards the back of the field. The 20 car we were just talking about, who is on some older set of tires, backed up that inside line. It was a little bit of contact, but it looks like everybody's going to come out fairly unscathed.
And, you know, looking at tires, it looks like it was not a good option to stay out that long. He is all the way back, almost to P14. He's at P13 right now. But he's got a whole group of people right there on him as the 08 also goes around him, Jackson Duke, but he's a lap down. So that's not a position loss, but they're there. Five car's going to put some pressure on Thomas Long for position. He's going to be looking for that P5 position. Again, remember, Brandon Hinton has fresher tires. He is currently the highest running fresher tires car right now with Christian Clark right behind him.
Let's see if we can look at some lap times. You get the 5 car, Brandon Hinton, ran a 29.450. Your race leader, the 68 of Tom Ringer, ran a 29.333. So it looks like the 68 car actually had about a 10th faster lap that last time around.
And you know, it's interesting you bring up those lap times because Brandon Hinton is actually running slower than them. Now, it could be because he has a car right in front of him, but maybe they don't have a big enough tire gap.
Let's look at it this time by as the 68 crosses the stripe, a 29.366. You get the 5 car Brandon Hinton, a 29.710. I think that traffic right in front of him is definitely slowing him down.
Yeah, I think so, because if you look at Thomas Long, he's running at 29.835. And, you know, Brandon Hinton is a very respectable driver. He's not going to try and run over anybody in front of him. So if it means checking himself up, saving his tires a little bit for later on in the race, he's going to do that, because you got to remember, they still got 40-something laps right now.
As our front 4 cars have now pulled away from the rest of the pack. Looking up there, the 43 car got around the 4 car of Chuck Burley, as you now have a Ratfink 1, 3, and 4 with a Bayou Boy sitting at number 2.
Yeah, and that Bayou Boy, his next closest teammate is going to be that 20 car of Scott Hodge in P14. So he's kind of sitting on an island right now, because the 08 is sitting in P16 a lap down. So he doesn't have much help from friendly faces around him.
99 of Christian Clark securing the pass on the 5 car Brandon Hinton. Mark Holloway looking to follow in suit to get around that 5 car. 5 car actually is looking back to the inside of the 99. Let's see if he can get it to stick down here on the bottom. And he will secure that pass. 56 trying to follow in suit as they're about to go 3 wide.
I think the 5 car actually came under threat from the 99 and was able to defend him, because the 5 car was trying to chase down that car in front of him. But that's how quick things change. You know, the 99 is running a very interesting line. You know, Christian Clark, he works hard, tireless, day in, day out to run a good race. So it's nice to see him putting a threat under one of the top contenders of this race.
Our gap for position 1 and 2 has now grown by 0.3 of a second. Tom Ringer now with an 0.8 lead over second place Hunter Cox.
Now, Hunter Cox, he is known for pushing every inch of the car, man. And he is working that thing. You know, he's gotten past 2 people, and now he's setting the sight on the leader. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see how much that gap drops down more and more every lap. He's within a second of him.
I think we're going to see the 68 car slowly starting to pull away as the 43 ran a 29.9. 68 Tom Ringer ran a 29.8, so about a 10th quicker that last lap.
Now, could he be potentially burning his materials? Because remember, they are kind of on the same pit cycle, but at the end of the day, you know, who's got the best motion on these tires right now?
So we got a good little battle developing back here for position number 7, the 5 and the 56. And you got the 13 looking to follow in suit.
The 5 is really going to have to work to keep these guys behind him. They are hungry to start moving forward. Now, Brandon Hinton, again, is a very smart driver. Yes, he's dropped to P9, but at the end of the day, do you think he's probably conserving himself?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's still way too early to start pushing the envelope. And I think the only thing, the real big concern is if this stays green, is he going to be able to maneuver his way back up to the front of this pack?
You know, speaking of saving your equipment and burning materials, I want to bring some attention back to the P2 position where Hunter Cox is. Chuck Burley's catching Hunter Cox. He has went from 0.5 of a second 2 laps ago to 0.2. Look at him getting closer and closer.
As our gap to the leader has now grown to about a second, Chuck Burley is definitely looking to start setting up for this pass. He's going to run about half a lane lower, see if he can get side by side here with the 43 in the quad oval.
And he gets pretty close. He's within a car length of him in the quad oval as they dive off into turn 1 and 2. You know, that 43 is running the higher line. He's trying to carry momentum, but I don't think it's enough. Look at that 4 car. Look at him sail it down the backstretch as the 20 car hits pit road.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. That 20 car had stayed out on 30-lap old tires and is now being forced into a green flag pit stop. This will put him at least 1 lap down, if not more. That one's going to hurt his run there.
Here's the thing, though, up in this front area, it's definitely going to hurt the 20 car unless a caution comes out and it can give him some kind of lucky dog or anything. But the 43 is starting to move backwards. Look at this now. The 54, Tyler Waltz, now has him under threat. The 4 car got by and is moving away. And look at the 54 sailing it on the outside. He's going to clear the 43.
The old 2-for-1 swap. We got the Rat Fink 1, 2, and 3 as the 43 has now succeeded 2 positions. Next up on his list, he gets a 99 of Christian Clark. Running in 5th, about 2 seconds back from the 4th place position.
Now, I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'm pretty sure you're going to do it as well. If that... Oh, actually, the 99 got passed by Tanner Honeycutt, they're both dropping the gap to Hunter Cox. We're going to pay attention to these guys, and we're going to see what could possibly go on.
Sorry to cut you off there. Tanner Honeycutt with a massive save coming out there, turn number 4. He is able to collect it with nobody receiving any damage. He is going to give up that position to the 99 and the 5 car, but good save there on the 13 car to keep us green flag.
Now the 99 is setting his sights on that 43. I mean, he was 2.2 seconds behind. He's now 1 point. Let's see what it is. 1.8 at the start-finish line. So he is trying to track him down. Do you think he can?
Oh, I mean, he's already going in the right direction. You know, the 43 ran a 30.5 that last time by, and the 99 of Christian Clark ran a 30.1, almost half a tenth per lap.
Yeah, he's looking in the right direction. I mean, as we come across start-finish line, he's now 1.3 behind that car. Now, one thing I want to say is if for some reason a late caution came out, I don't think anybody would have anything for the 43 of Hunter Cox or Chuck Burley. Those guys seem to be pretty good on the short run, but in the medium to long run area, I've got to give it to the 99 and the 68. They've been showing that they're pretty strong at that.
Yeah, the 68's been pretty dominant out front today. Once he got that lead, you know, he's not really wanting to give it up.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it up, but at the same time, you know, he is being caught by the 4 car. A little bit, but they're kind of like giving and taking. So, actually, I want to hear your opinion, Hunter Davis, because you kind of seem to know the racecraft a little bit better than me. Do you think the 4 car has the ability to chase down the 68? And if he does, how would you say it needs to be done?
I mean, it's still too early to tell, you know, but I do want to point out that 99 is now at the rear bumper of the 43. Looking to make this pass. He's brought the 5 and the 13 all with him. All of them looking. 43 calls out, pitting this time by.
Sounds like he burnt up his material. Look at him launch to the apron. He wants to stay out of the way of people. He wants to make sure he's not going to interfere with the race. But you've got a battle between the 99 and the 5 brewing right now.
You know, I think if I were in those guys' position, I would want to stay single filed out. You have about a 3-second gap up to that, you know, Rat Fink lead pack. I think these guys want to stay single file to start running down these drivers in front of them.
Now, the interesting thing about these three cars is you got a Beer Run Racing driver, the number 99. You have two teammates of TRN guys right there. TRN has a explicit rule: race your race, don't hold up for anybody. As you can see right now, the 13's going past the 5, and he's going to give him a fight on the outside right now.
You know, I do think it is important to race your own race, but at the same time, you know, you help me help you kind of situation. These guys want to run down the Rat Fink 1, 2, 3, as they're not going to be able to really necessarily do anything from, you know, 2.5 seconds back.
I gotta agree with you on that too, as the 13 is also battling the 99 now. He's trying to get to his inside. They're 2.5 seconds off on the lead group. If they continue side by side like this, they're not going to make any kind of headway, really.
13 is going to slide job there on the exit out of 2. 99 is going to succeed that position. And a caution. Let's look at the 68 car of Tom Ringer. Tom Ringer, our leader, wrecked. Massive contact.
And that's going to hurt him bad. That front end is crunched in.
Looking at the 55 car of Andy Schmidt, who is 52 laps down.
That, I'm going to have to say it, man. What was the 55 doing? You cannot just turn down on the leader like that.
That is very unfortunate for that 68 car, as he has had a lot of speed here tonight. If he's still got his fast repair, he is definitely going to have to use it there.
But you know he's going to be angry. He's going to be as angry as humanly possible. I mean, what was
also
that
a little development looking through our chat? It looks like the 55 car called over the chat that he was hitting in that time. I wonder if he was trying to cycle to the bottom, didn't realize how much speed the 68 had carried.
Yeah, I can understand that he was trying to go to pit road, but, you know, I'm not going to hate on him. You know, it's a learning moment for him. He's new to the DS League and stuff like that. You got to look further behind you. But he did the right thing. He called out he was pitting. But you still have to be spatial awareness. Just because you call it out doesn't mean it's going to be good. But at the end of the day, I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think it was malicious. I don't think that he's a problem child or anything like that. But it was an unfortunate incident. But we're going to go ahead and go to a quick commercial break. And we're going to come back when the racing is started again.
My girl and two boys, we both getting old. It won't be much longer before we in a home. We go to Walgreens, we both got bad knees. I bet you don't know much about these things. But once a month when Social Security comes, it's the only time of month where we having fun. Yeah, we fancy like White Castles on a Tuesday night. Yeah, the double cheese slider ain't nothing much finer with some onion rings on the side too. 2 hours later, gotta go boom, get you some Pinto when you get home. Gonna be in the bathroom on your own. It's a St. Louis party that we do once a month. Hey, this how we do what we do. Oh, like. Where my chicken? I don't know. Where it? I don't know. Don't be too long. You know I'm fat. It sure don't forget the sides, rice and gravy, and biscuits. Girl, hurry, cause I'm hungry. Woo. My kitchen's clean, ain't no mess. Nah. I got the chicken straight from Buffalo. We eating chicken in the kitchen. Don't be lazy, pass the gravy, cause you know that it's tasty.
And welcome back after that quick commercial break. 68 car is able to utilize his fast repair, although he is going to be 2 laps down after that tow. Looking back at our leaders, you got the 4 car of Chuck Burley starting on the inside. 13 car of Tanner Honeycutt is going to give his shot again on the outside. 99 of Christian Clark, 5 of Brandon Hinton running in row number 2.
And, you know, we got to call it out as we're about to go green. It seems like the 99 might be a little bit better on the short to mid-run lines, but the 5 car and the 13 are better on mid to long runs as we're going to take the green flag here right now. The 4 car is going to get a brilliant jump, and the 99 is going to follow suit and take over that P2 position.
Yeah, it looks like the 99 is going to clear on the inside. 13 is going to succeed that. You get the 5 car, Brandon Hinton, following up. I'd look to see these guys check out from the rest of the field here for the next couple of laps.
99 car is going to look his sights onto the 4 as he's in front of the 13 now, but 13 is going to say, hey, man, I'm still here. I'm going for that position. They're all on the same tire strat, all same tires. It's all the driver now with these guys.
As our front 5 has now single filed out, you got Charles Connor running in 5th, gridded in 25th, looking to make that pass. Tom Ringer looking to take it 3 wide heading into turn number 3.
Now, Tom Ringer is trying to get into that first car lap down position. He gets past the 08. They're both 2 laps down, and they're the first cars laps down. So if another caution was to come out, those guys could benefit. So they're making sure they get into the right position.
Looks like Tom Ringer is going to have to battle the 08 of Jackson Duke for that lucky dog there. Both sitting 2 laps down. Jackson Duke, the first car, laps down.
And, you know, that's going to be an interesting fight right there. Those guys are both headstrong guys. But I'm keeping my eye on this 99 and 4 car. They are trying to get a gap to the 13, but at the end of the day, if they push too hard, that 13 is going to start coming up there real fast.
You know, we've talked about Christian Clark and how much speed he's having. If I'm not mistaken, he is still looking for his first DES win. Am I correct?
Yeah, he is actually still looking for that first win. Even though he's had multiple runner-ups, multiple top 3s, top 5s, he's still seeking that first win.
I look to see a good battle starting to play out, but I definitely wouldn't count out those guys right behind him. They're falling back, you know, they're saving tires. They're, you know, kind of sitting in the weeds, watching the prey type of situation right here.
Now, one thing that Christian Clark has that's not so good, but also very good, is as he's still on the coattails of the number 4, he is nice to a fault. You know, he is gonna give you space because he's a nice guy. But I think at this point in the race, we're now coming into 16. We're at 16 laps to go, about to be 15 laps to go. When do you stop being that nice guy?
I mean, it's 15 to go. I would not start giving it 100% yet. Give it about 7 laps, and I'm going to give it everything that I got.
Do you think there's a chance the 4 and the 99 are giving everything because the 13 is catching them? He is getting closer and closer.
I wouldn't say giving them everything, but they're definitely pushing. That 99 is hungry for that lead.
Car spinning. Caution out. Sorry to cut you off there, Hunter. I saw it in the corner of the screen, a car spinning.
54 of Tyler Waltz is our victim here for this caution. As you see him running the high line here out of the exit of 2. And just called out over the radio, the 68 of Tom Ringer is going to be your lucky dog. This will put him now 1 lap down.
And I think that's what brought out the caution. We're looking at the replay. The 54 is running high. The 24 is sweeping up. 54 has to duck down a little bit lower to avoid, because if you look right there at the wall, it kind of bows inward on the track. And I think they just came together, and that's an unfortunate circumstance. But, you know, those 2 guys are very good drivers. They're going to be understanding. They're not going to argue with each other. They're not going to scream at each other. They're going to understand the situation, and they're going to continue their day.
As we'll look, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any takers here on pit road. I thought we might see a couple, maybe towards the rear of the pack. Yep, there they go. We have a few takers trying to utilize that last set of tires that they got.
Looks like Thomas Long, obviously from his wreck, he's going to be on pit road. Then we also have, who else we got down there? The 08, who's 2 laps down. We've also got Hunter Cox, who's sitting there in P12. He's going to be coming down pit road as well. Where would you want to be, Hunter? Where would you want to be in this race right now?
I'd like to be right where that 4 car is. That track position is huge.
I'd like to be where that 99 is, because if he can get a good enough jump and he can stay close to the 4 car on the jump, I'd want to run in his tire tracks. I'd want to scare him. I want to make him make a mistake, not bump him, not run into him, but make him make a mistake and sweep past him. So I'd have to say I want to be where that 99 is.
Only issue with that is you're now using your material to force him into a mistake. Well, the 4 car, as long as he just runs his tried and true line, then, you know, that's all he's got to do.
And I have to yield to that statement you said, man. Like, you have to be careful with your material. Yes, you can try and force somebody else into a mistake, but if it causes you to lose your material and it can cause you to make a mistake, you got to understand this is a race you can lose as well.
I think that's going to be interesting. I don't know if any of these guys have any additional sets of tires remaining, but I am curious to see how this restart goes. You know, the 4 got a massive jump. Last time the 13 was on the high line. Now he's got the 99 to his outside. I'd like to see if that 99 can maybe get a better jump and hold side by side with him into turn number 1.
I want to highlight our top 5 real quick, just for you, Hunter, so that, you know, me and you have the same understanding about things real quick, okay? Chuck Burley is a winner across all series. Christian Clark has never won a race. Tanner Honeycutt has won everything but NextGen. Brandon Hinton, previous champion. Charles Connor, his last win came in street stocks when DES used to run that. So we've got a massive shakeup in the top 5.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think it's going to be interesting here to the end. I'd like to see, you know, who's going to be able to conserve and maintain patience here for these next 10 laps to finish this race.
I'm very eager to see what's going on right now.
4 on the inside, 99 to the outside, into the restart zone we go.
99, beautiful jump. He's going to hang right next to the 4. Can he sail it on the inside? He actually gives up momentum, and he allows the 4 to get the position. But now he's under threat from the 13.
13's looking to the bottom. They're going to be side by side on the exit of 2. Let's see who will have the run. Ooh, car slightly into the wall. Looks like the 5 car tapped the wall. That's going to allow the 13 to clear the 99. Now the 13's going to go after attack on the 4 car.
13 car is going to do everything in its power to stay with the 4 and separate themselves from the field. But that 99, 5, 67, and 60 are not going to let them get too far out.
5 car looking to the inside of the 99. They're going to be side by side here on the backstretch as the 13 is still drawing closer to the 4 car.
And that's another thing I want to talk about. The 99, he's good on that medium to long run. This short kind of 10-lap sprint might not be his forte, but I can be surprised. So we can see something happen as he actually holds off the 5 car.
5 car is going to try something different this time. He's going to go to the high line, or the middle line, see if he can get a good run here, as now the 13 and the 4 are starting to pull away, about a half a second gap.
4 car is going to run to the middle line. 13 is going to go down low. He's going to try and sweep up to him, because in these next-gen cars, being behind somebody, you get a nice little arrow push that can make the car a little loose.
Same thing again here. 13's going to go low. 4's going to go high. 4's going to come down to block that lane. And right behind him, you got the 5 car to the outside of the 99.
He's going to actually take that position. And he's actually going to kind of tow the 67 up there as well. The one thing these guys don't want to see is another late race caution.
Let's see, this time by, you had the 4 car run a 29.5, the 13 car a 29.4, about a 10th faster this time. 6 laps to go.
And everybody else behind them is nowhere near that race pace. So those two are kind of setting themselves out to get a nice gap because they're about 8/10.
13's got the fender. 13's got the fender. Side by side into the quad oval. 13's going to clear.
Last time we were here at Charlotte and DES, we were here in the ARCA cars, and 13 actually won that Tanner Honeycutt, and he's going to get past the 4 car and look to set his sights out on making a gap.
He's got 5.5 laps here that he just needs to hold on and give it everything that he has, as he is now pulled to a 0.3 of a second gap to the 4 car.
And look at that, behind them, 67 is going to move into the 4th place position. He's actually, I believe, catching Brandon Hinton. He's running ever so slightly, very minimally faster than Brandon Hinton. He is trying to get there.
As the 5 car has slowly started to reel in this 4 car, 0.4 of a second separate him.
We're trickling down laps, more and more. 4 laps to go. 13 car has put himself in the front. Same tire strat as everybody around him. So he's looking to keep pushing.
Five car has now reeled in the 4 down to 0.3 of a second. 1/10 that lap.
But look who's still reeling them in as well. You've got the 67. He is still reeling them in. He's about a 10th faster every lap on those guys.
5 car is going to try the high line, see if he can get a run here on the 4. Looks like he will. Let's see if he'll pull to the inside. 5 car down low, 4 now high.
This is why you're the analytical broadcaster, because I would have never guessed he would have went to the inside. I would have thought he would have went to the outside, but he did go to the inside, and he is still maintaining that gap.
I look to see him try it again here. He's going to follow the 4 car down low. They're both going to get the same runoff, as the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt has now checked up to an 0.8 of a second gap for the lead.
Now, as the 4 car, that's probably something he doesn't want to see. He doesn't want to see that 13 checking out and that 5 car getting closer and closer to put him under threat.
As that time by, let's look at it. The 13 car with the 29.9, the 4 car with the 29.8, and the 5 car with the 29.9.
4 car might be putting on the pace, but look at that. The 5 car almost gets in the wall. Now he's under threat from the 67. Potential of losing P3 and the interview here at the end of the race.
5 car is going to roll the high line. Looks like the 67 is going to clear. 5 is going to try to follow up. And your race...
Go ahead.
Your race winner, the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt, wrapping it up here with a last-minute pass on the 4 car, Chuck Burley.
On the last lap, 67 gets by the 5 car to finish in P3 position. That's absolutely amazing, man. I don't think I saw that coming. Charles Connor is going to be down in the TRN channel. We're going to get him dragged up here. We're going to have a conversation with him about his race win, his 3rd place position here today. Charles Connor How'd you do it?
Oh man, that was a fun race. Haven't had a race like that in a while. I just saved tire and saved fuel forever, and I guess I just saved just enough tire to claw my way back up into the top 3. Fun race.
Yeah, looking back at that replay, that was a last minute pass there on the 5 car. Were you thinking you were going to get that position, or what was going through your mind right there?
Oh yeah, I knew as soon as he hit the wall, I figured he probably wouldn't be able to carry any momentum out of the corner. As long as I could have stuck that like I did, I knew I knew I'd take it.
Charles, you were kind of mired back in the middle of the pack, kind of, doing what you got to do back there. Were you focused on consistency or were you focused on speed back then?
Oh, I was running low as I could, backing the corners up, saving as much tire as possible. About 10, 15 laps in, you just start picking them off. All the guys that passed you up, running that high line, you just start picking them back off.
Well, go ahead, Evan.
No, go ahead, man. It's your turn.
No, I was just going to say that was an awesome performance. You had started back in the 25th position, ended up finishing in 3rd. What were your key strategies? What helped you the most working your way to the front? Was it tire saving, fuel saving, or just keeping your car clean?
Number 1, yeah, keeping it clean, because you get into a wreck, your chances are slim of finishing. Yeah, just like I said, man, just saving tire. I was hoping for some long green flag runs because that was my strategy. But, I mean, I guess it kind of worked out. But...
Well, Charles, you're going to be considered one who's not a dart without feathers with that P3 finishing position with our sponsor today. Congratulations on the P3 position. Can't wait to see what you got going on for you for the rest of the weekend and next weekend.
Gen 4, good job, guys. Little Village Candle Company. Edwin, thanks for the paint scheme. Y'all have a good night.
Charles Connor, your 3rd place finisher here tonight at Charlotte. Let's get Chuck Burley in here, who finished 2nd place. Chuck, first off, congratulations on that 2nd place finish. That was an awesome performance out there. Walk us through those last 10 laps with you.
Last 10 laps were, I think what happened was burned my stuff. I would say burn it up, but I mean, I was running hard to get back to the lead, and then caution came out, got back to the lead, and then I guess Tanner, I was talking to him a little bit earlier, and he said he was saving. So I think what happened was he had a little bit more left in the tank than I did. So I was trying to hold him off, but I saw he was going to get me. So I figured a second's better than wrecking, so I just let him have it. I mean, I didn't let him have it. He earned it, but it was a good battle there.
Chuck, that beautiful Rat Fink Paint Shops car out there, man. You started out the race early on in the lead. Then you mired yourself back. Then you came back to the front. Was there any point where you were kind of concerned where you would finish, where you would have success in this race?
Yeah, when I don't know how to add. So I was trying to figure out the laps for fuel in case it went green the whole way. And so I pitted too early, didn't put me in the back. And I was like, well, I just ruined my race. But luckily, kind of worked my way through it. And then a caution came out, and that basically put me back in the front again. So a luck of the draw with the caution, but there was a time when I thought I screwed up.
So, you said you had kind of went back to the back due to a pit strategy. What was your biggest strategy to make it back through the front? Was it just by attrition or by tire saving, or, just playing the fuel strategy out to finish up here?
No, at that point, when I was in the back, I figured I was going to go balls out. No tire saving, just go for it. And then that helped me get back to the front. So, but there was a timely caution. After I caught Tom, I guess got wrecked by a lap car or something. I wasn't sure what happened there, but so balls out, caught Tom. Tom got wrecked, and then that helped me out with the fuel saving strategy.
Well, Chuck, congratulations on your second place finish. That was an awesome performance out there to see you guys out there racing for the lead, running within hundreds of a second each other. So, congratulations on that second place finish. I look forward to seeing you carry this momentum into next week's race.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Great broadcast.
Hey, thank you. Now let's see if we can get our race winner in here. The 13 of Tanner Honeycutt. Tanner, first off, congratulations on that race win. That was an awesome performance there at the end. I'll ask you the same thing I asked Chuck. Walk us through those last 10 laps.
First off, I appreciate it. Was not expecting to even probably win tonight, but the strategy paid off. And it honestly started before the last restart. Chuck and Christian were fighting each other pretty hard after lap 110, and fought so hard that I knew if they kept running that high line, I can just keep dropping down low to the bottom and saving and saving and saving. And I mean, the whole race really, it kind of prevailed once you could get in a groove of constantly running the low line. Everybody going up would either float up and they just roast them. So it worked out, and that was a really, really fun race.
Yeah, man, we saw you. You were kind of lower top 10 car most of the night, but there was always those times, and I even said to myself, it seemed like you were a mid-run to long-run car. How did you pull out a short run like that?
Honestly, I'm not even really too sure. The restart that Chuck got, I knew his restarts all night were insane, where you wouldn't be able to catch him. He'd have 3 car links on you, and normally what ends up happening is if I can stay close enough and get a little bit of his draft, I was able to get pulled in. But that last restart was a little bit different. He kept running the high line, and I knew he had already done it for 20-some laps, so his tires can't be feeling that hot. And seen him float up in the corners a bunch of times, and the last one he did, and I was on the gas, just rolling right through, and was able to catch up. And obviously, Chuck's going to race me fair. If he sees me under him, he's not going to turn left and take me out or nothing.
So, you started from the rear of the field, elected not to qualify. What was your strategy there from the get-go to start from 24th all the way up to the race win?
So before, obviously we had some race issues. The way these next-gen cars are able to shift and downshift, it was feeling really good when it was the nighttime race, and when we got in here, every time you'd go into the corner and downshift, it would get a little bit scary where you'd hear the chassis start banging and the back end would try to slide around. But honestly, my whole strategy was, stay low as much as possible. And even me and Charles, we were both doing that the whole race. He ended up pulling out P3, and honestly, it's probably the best strategy. And I guess it's because I got home field advantage being, 30 minutes from Charlotte myself. So.
Well, Tanner, congratulations on that race win. That was an awesome performance out there tonight, seeing you drive from the back of the field all the way up to the front to get that race win. So once again, congratulations. And I look forward to seeing you carry this momentum into, the rest of the races this weekend, as well as the next gen race next weekend.
Thank you guys very much. And once again, I appreciate it, Damon, everybody that puts together these broadcasts, and glad to be a part of it.
And before I send it over to Edwin to close out this broadcast, I would like to once again give a shout out to that 5-car, Brandon Hinton, for sponsoring, as well as Todd Perrant for sponsoring this weekend's races with the Darts Without Feathers theme. Awesome to see guys, getting involved in this league and giving back to something that they enjoy doing so much. So Edwin, go ahead and close us on out.
I have to agree with you. Seeing our community come together and sponsor it and help our producer out with some of the things that he has going on, I think it's absolutely amazing. You guys have done a phenomenal job. There was a phenomenal race and a good start to this weekend, where tomorrow we have Legacy Trucks at Atlanta, and then we have Premier Series at Talladega, and then Xfinity as well as Atlanta. So I think that was an amazing race. Thank you, Hunter Davis, for coming in here and broadcasting with me. Damon O'Brien, absolute masterful broadcasting skills. We'll see you in the next one. See ya.